Are you eating a crumpet? Good. Then you're ready for Tea Time with T-Rav on KDPS 88.1 Mondays from 6 to 7 p.m. where along with wide varieties of music, you'll hear about heroes who put on a show, zeros who just gotta go,
goodbye,
the tales of T-Rav, and the crazy, with a K, story of the week. Alright, not that crazy. Sit down with your crumpets and tune in to Tea Time every Monday, 6 to 7 p.m. on KDPS 88.1. Hello, and welcome to a wonderful week here at KDPS 88.1 The Edge, known as Switch Week, where the DJs who normally do individual shows and the DJs who normally do two-person shows, they switch. So this week and this hour, you are privileged to a wonderful time with Travis and Boaz.
We are going to speak to you about so many different things that are happening out there, and we hope you folks will enjoy our show. Welcome back to KDPS 88, and more music is on your way. Welcome back to KDPS 88.1 with Travis and Boaz. I don't know what people think about daily life savings time. For me, someone who is coming from Africa, this is something that I don't get. I just don't see why we are having this time change. I think I need more reasons behind that idea. Like yesterday, we had to miss church. Most of the people didn't show up for church because they didn't know that the time has been changed. And because they were too late, they decided to stay home. So if this thing is going to be affecting people's lives, then I don't see why we should have that. Travis, what do you think about that?
Daylight savings time is one of those arbitrary thoughts that America came up with just years and years and years ago. I believe it was set up for the farmers just decades ago for when they were growing crops. And let's be fair, farmers are not the most prominent workers in America nowadays. And if we can just change the time at will, why don't we just push it back another 4 or 5 hours so people who work at night, when they're done working and they come out into the open, the sun's still up, so they don't always have to be going to bed at 2 or 3 in the morning.
So, as someone who have been raised here in America, what are some of the effects you see with the time change?
So I know from a personal experience, and there's even been studies done about this, there's one where it says the drivers are more likely to be in a fatal traffic accident on the first Monday after daylight savings time. I remember driving literally at 6 in the morning, or what I thought was 6 in the morning, turned out to be 7, and just almost drifting off, falling asleep because of the lack of sleep you get. I do realize it's only 1 hour, but imagine how significant that 1 hour makes when there's obviously studies to be shown about how difficult it can be the day after daylight savings time.
Yeah, and they're talking about these workplace injuries. People are getting hurt. You know, they don't have that, stability. They lose that. And what do you think about it?
Oh, it's just, you'd almost think it'd be better for the working class citizen, and honestly all of society, if we just had, like we do in the fall, when we gain an hour. Why don't we just do that every single year? If we just gain another hour, then people tend to be more restive, people tend to be more prepared and ready for the weekday, ready for Mondays, which we all know how difficult Mondays can be. It's one of those things that it's just unreal how the types of things that you miss just by 1 hour of sleep. I similar to you, I had an experience where I woke up an hour late on a Sunday morning, and I ended up missing one of my best friend's children's baptisms because of just 1 little hour that I missed from something that's not even that fully announced the week before it's to occur.
Yeah, I just don't see why we should have these daily light savings from my personal perspectives. And like I said, it's something that is being done here.
I've never experienced this before.
I was born and raised in Africa, so this is something new to me, and that's why I just don't get it. But people are talking about that out there, and they, some people are very excited about this. Like last time I was talking to like two of my friends, and they say it's good to have this because they still need that extra time if they're working on a project and it's getting too dark. Sometimes people want to go to sleep or go to bed when it's getting dark. So when it's still light out there, then it gives them a chance to do more work and accomplish more stuff that they would like to accomplish. And so it's amazing to see how people are reacting differently. And I was surprised to hear that from my African people saying that. I don't know what you think about that, man.
Honestly, it's a very good point about you getting extra time, especially at night. I know from a youth perspective, when you think about people going out on the weekends and they go and hang out at bars and whatnot, and they become, let's say, intoxicated, and then they leave the bars at midnight with their friends or with, say, a girl they're hoping to continue the relationship with, but oftentimes when you bring them out at night, it's dark and you don't fully recognize them. Well, when you bring them out during the day, they don't have that problem.
Yep.
And so by learning this, by using this extra time to do so, it's unreal. I mean, it's almost a health issue. With there's a 25% increase in the number of heart attacks that are occurring on the Monday after daylight savings time.
Yeah, that when I read about that, it shocked me. Just to see, people getting heart attacks just for, an hour, man.
1 hour.
1 hour.
1 hour difference.
Yeah. I don't know what you think, but
it's unreal. It's unreal, Boaz. You heard it here first. Travis and Boaz are telling you, do away with the whole daylight savings time. It is accomplishing nothing for no one. You're listening to KDPS 88.1. The Edge. Coming up next is Experimental Fiction by the Dinks. You are listening to KDPS 88.1 The Edge. That was Young Blood by B. Miller. Wonderful, talented artist, up-and-comer. Time now. Let's talk about something oh so important as we enter the heart of the month that we're in, March. It's Women's History Month. Boaz, so many important women. So many important women to talk about.
Oh, yeah.
So many different women who have shaped the world through the years, and so many women in modern day that I think we should definitely talk about today, and how they are shaping our world, and just a little bit about even their accomplishments. Boaz, I'm going to admit something to you and to other people that I usually don't admit to a lot of. I haven't even told members of my family about this.
Yeah.
It was a few years ago. I was in Omaha, and I went to a concert by the one and only Taylor Swift. I was surrounded by Swifties, as they call them. It was, to be honest, Boaz, it was one of the most unbelievable experiences I've ever had. I was a converted Swiftie by the end of that concert.
She's good at concerts.
She is unbelievable in person.
With that many fans? Man.
The atmosphere was incredible. She was just in person. Her songs, she has her catchy songs. She's been around for a long time. She sings about things that really connect with, certain demographics. I understand that. Doesn't always connect with me.
I think that's why she has many fans.
And so that's why she has so many fans.
Yep. But
she's also one of those people that her song "Shake It Off" was top of the list, top of the charts, and then the song to knock that song from the top of the charts was a different Taylor Swift song called "Blank Space," and she was the first ever female artist to do this on the U.S. Billboard Hot 100. But after this concert, at one point she was up in the rafters, then she was floating around. At one point she was just sitting on the edge of the stage with her guitar in hand, just making music that way. It was very, very impressive, and she's a very strong woman. We all heard about her exploits on the dating scene, but she's a very, very strong woman, and she's accomplished a lot.
She has, and like you said, I've listened to her songs, and every time I sit down and listen to Taylor Swift song, I get amazed. It's really good to listen to her songs. And then we have people like Oprah Winfrey.
Oh yes. So amazing. So unreal what she's accomplished.
She has accomplished so many great things in the African American women history.
Mm-hmm.
You know, she became the first woman, you know, to own her producer. She was the first one. That's incredible.
That it is. I remember hearing a quote that she said that for 10 years she did something that she absolutely hated in order to do what she wanted to do. And I'm really glad she did those 10 years.
Yeah. You know, when you sit down listening to her interviews, when she sits down and talks to people, you know, she brings, you know, topics that not even people would like to talk about. You know, but she breaks into that. She brings that attention to people, and people talk about it. You know,
she broke that story about Lance Armstrong a couple years ago when she did the interview with him. She was the first one that interviewed him.
Yeah. What about if people don't want to talk about things? How are we going to, you know, overcome them? I think the solution to that is to talk about those things.
Right.
You know.
And Oprah's a great example of that.
Oh, she is. She's very example. And here's let me tell you one story, Travis, about when I see women in this country. I say they need to take some time even thanking God for what He has done in this country. You know, when you see how women are being treated here, if you go to Africa, man, you will see that difference. Women don't have that same rights as women has here in America. You know, they can't do these things that you know, American women are doing. They're those people who sit, you know, home, take care of kids, you know, do the cooking, do the laundry, do the, you know, that's what they do. They don't get that chance to go out, you know, and create their own things.
So careers aren't always an option for them.
Yeah. And I always get frustrated about that, you know. As someone who came from Africa, you know, and I know what things are, you know, being done there. Now I'm here, seeing different things. I don't know what to say, man. But I definitely think maybe American women can think to go back and see if they can bring that change to Africa.
Honestly, that would be absolutely wonderful to see.
By giving these, you know, by showing what they have accomplished.
Right. Because America's, let's be honest, America's not as far as it needs to be. But it's definitely a lot more advanced than, say, other places around the world. And if that can just spread and really just catch, like almost like a virus, and just catch the rest of the world, then just imagine honestly how much we can accomplish. Because let's be honest, women can accomplish a lot more than we can, Boaz.
They do.
By far.
They just need to get that chance. You know? And who are going to give them that chance? You know, the government. You know, the husband.
It's got to be society, right? It's got to be everybody, from government down to their husband, down to fathers, parenting.
Do you know anybody else who, you know, have done?
Oh, absolutely. If we think about just all the women, there's Beyonce, regardless of Kanye's interruptions during all her music shows. She has done wonderful things. She's won the International Artist Award of Excellence from the American Music Awards. Beyonce's, probably even more so than Taylor Swift, has accomplished so much in the music world and has conquered so many barriers that started so long ago, and now she's so far along, and it's unreal what she's done. There's so many other singers, even like Madonna, who's been around for decades and decades. And she's raked in who knows how much money over the years from all her music experiences and all her concerts and CDs. And these women are really what have helped push boundaries in our country, and we're lucky to really have them. And it's a great thing that we have a month to recognize it.
You are lucky, man. You are lucky. If you have more things to talk about women's rights, and just share with us by tweeting us on KDPS 88, or we can post on our Facebook page at KDPS Radio. More music is on your way. Welcome back to The Age 88.1 with Boaz and Travis. I know you have been waiting patiently to hear about the news of what is happening in the sports world. I know you have so many great sports things that you would like to hear about, but we are going to briefly talk to a few of them and hope you can benefit from that. As you know, the NCAA punishes different institutions in such different ways. Syracuse University was punished on Friday for improper benefits to recruits and failing to follow their own policies. That's something, I don't know what people think, but if you are failing to follow your policy, then you might be punished. But I don't think NCAA do it the right way, because it's like a random thing that they are doing.
It's
Travis,
crazy, Boaz.
what do you think,
it's absolutely crazy, Boaz. A few of these things, I've been reading up on it, trying to keep up with all these NCAA sanctions. And Syracuse is just the latest on a long line of schools that have been punished for random recruiting violations. And the thing about the recruiting violations and the punishments is that they don't always fit the crime, and
They do not.
They're very just sporadic in how they choose to punish them. Jim Boeheim, the coach of the Syracuse team with all these sanctions, received a 9-game suspension, whereas a few years ago, the Tennessee basketball coach Bruce Pearl, he lied about having an off-campus barbecue with a few recruits. He was suspended for 3 years, and he's coaching another team now, and he can't even talk to the recruits. So there's no way for him to actually perform any recruiting.
Then how the team is going to,
Exactly. So
if you're not recruiting other players and you are head coach,
it's part of the job, right?
Yeah.
It's part of the job, like the main part of the job, and yet somehow he's still coaching. It's unreal about just how much of an effect the NCAA has on these programs when they don't really have a precedent to follow. They don't set one standard for the punishment, and then they don't follow that standard. They go through different standards with each different story, and it's very random. The schools are probably just as much at fault for all these problems that they're bringing upon themselves. Right?
And when these things happen, people then get to think much about incidents like do the NCAA have policies for each case? If they are treating each case differently, I understand it's fine to do that, but they still have to have like a certain guidelines that they follow.
Right.
You can't just punish people randomly. There has to be something done.
There has to be some sort of guidelines that at least for the schools they can know how to follow. It helps them when they need to hire their next coach, or like this Bruce Pearl, who was hired for the next program that he's coaching now. And he's obviously having issues because he can't actually recruit. So it's just, NCAA it's one crazy institution that will probably never be understood. But luckily there's other things, more important things going on in the sports world.
Yeah. We Russell Westbrook.
Yes, we have to talk about him.
He's doing amazing job. And in absence of KD,
so yes,
I can't believe how this kid is bringing the Thunder to life. And look, they didn't have a chance to be in the playoff, but now there is a chance that they might be in the playoff. They hold the 8th seed now, and hopefully if he keeps doing what he is doing, they are going to be in the playoffs. So no doubt about that.
Westbrook, he was never a player known for his really dragging the team together, but he's really done that recently.
Yeah, he does. Like last time, what he did, he averaged a triple-double as he led the Thunder to a 2-1 week. That was amazing. 40 points. 40 points.
Do you think he should be the MVP?
Should
he win the MVP award?
I would be happy to see Westbrook winning an MVP.
Really? Over James Harden?
Yes.
Really? Over LeBron James?
Because here's the deal. Those players have, other players, who are playing well in the league, who are contributing, to the win. But he is doing that by himself. Kevin Durant is out. He's not playing. And Russell Westbrook is doing this all by himself. You have James Harden, who has other players who are contributing to.
He's got Dwight Howard. He's got
Yeah, man. LeBron James. He has Irving Kyle. He has
Kevin Love. J.R. Smith.
And you tell me that man, come on.
His circumstances definitely do warrant MVP consideration. I think the only thing that might hurt him is that Westbrook was injured for a little part of the season.
Yep.
But he's definitely turning it on at the right time when voters are paying attention.
And I'm glad to see that he is doing this because Kevin Durant did that last year too when Westbrook was injured, and Kevin Durant had to take the lead, and he did an amazing job. What did you think about that Chicago Bears trade?
Yeah, Boaz, this is a very interesting move. The Chicago Bears traded Brandon Marshall today, their best wide receiver by far over the last few years. He's accomplished a few things that few other receivers have accomplished in history, with 100-yard receptions and 1,000-yard seasons, and yet they traded him away to the New York Jets. And it still baffles me. I don't know if they're just starting a rebuild. Maybe they're going to trade Cutler as well. I just can't understand the reasoning behind it, when he must have been fracturing the locker room. There must have been something going on that we don't know about to cause the Bears to really trade him. It's something that it baffles me. I think we've talked to a few Bears fans today, haven't we, Boaz? And they are all very upset about this decision.
They are. If you have something that you'd like to share with our listeners, you can tweet us on KDPS 88 or post on our Facebook at KDPS Radio, and we'll be glad to share those thoughts with our listeners. Coming up, more music.
KDPS 88.1 The Edge, Sicily and the Satellite by Andrew McMahon in the Wilderness. We want to thank you, me and Boaz, for listening in this wonderful evening on this wonderfully beautiful day here in Des Moines. It's been a pleasure. It's been a time, and we look forward to the rest of the Switch Week, and we hope you'll continue to tune in. Got a lot more great music coming at you with the Perry twins, Christina Perry and Katy Perry, coming up next. We hope you'll continue listening. This is KDPS 88.1 The Edge.